Hey guys, it's Tarkin coming at you with another game of hardcore Minecraft. And today, more of what we've been doing. More of giving seeds to our bird. Actually, he's full. He's just eaten. That's alright. Good old Garuda. So we just want to plant some more stuff. We've got our 70 emeralds, but we need to start working on the armor smith eventually. I don't actually know if there's one in this town. I'll probably just steal a blast furnace from some other place. Um, I mean, I also could just make one. I mean, that's clearly a possible option. But I need some stuff. What do I need? A shovel? Yes. And I should make a sword also. It occurs to me that I could definitely make both of them. I have the technology, because the shovel is just one unit at the top. I never ever build in the shapes, but I think you would just go like that. And then like so for a shovel, and then for a sword, two little lines of that, and then one at the bottom. Yep, there you go. So, conceptually, I sort of understand how to draw the things in the crafting table, although I almost always just click it over. So, we are going to go... do what? We're going to search for resources. Not like a lot of resources. We are going on a hunt for important ones. We're going to go find spruce trees. And that's really the only thing we're worried about on this, unless we see something like incredibly cool, is we're just going to spruce it up. But before then, just plant a bit more of our root vegetables. These we're probably going to not sell to villagers and use them for breeding up some pigs, but it's I haven't decided how I'm gonna scale up. Really, I should get the villagers into their professions first, and then sort of use the knowledge that we get there to try to make good choices with where we're gonna go in the future. But real quick, we're just going to throw some carrots down. It's not properly irrigated, and that reminds me that I should get a bucket of water. So, yeah, lots of things to do, but we're just going to remember that we forgot our boat, just like always. And I'm going to need a boat, but we can just go up to the top of the hill and, oh yeah, fish. A cat, that's what I needed to do. I need to get a cat who is not going to hurt, not going to hurt Garuda. They'll be fast friends. But we'll run around the village and get a cat. And then we will go and see about the spruce trees. I don't need the bed and the hot bar. The clock is nice to have there. So we're just going to find a cat and force it to be our friend. Just like in the real world, just because you have a dead fish in your hand, it's no guarantee that you'll be accepted as a friend by any animal. I mean, you're obviously enhancing your chances greatly, but sometimes you just still gotta chase down a cat and say, no, let me shove this salmon in your mouth. Be my best friend. I've seen it happen 100 times. And, the important thing is that the cat always, after long enough, will believe you and decide to be your friend. I think I shouldn't have been spending more wheat on this guy because I think the pumpkin sale is at that level. But, we could set up another farmer. But the pumpkin sales are what I usually do because all of the other ones, this one also doesn't have pumpkins, but I swear there were cats in this village. They have ranged far away, though, so, we're just going to hold on to this salmon, I guess, rather than making our dream come true. We can go ahead and breed another pig before we head out, though. They probably will have grown up, and then after this next one, we'll have 4, and of course, once you start adding into there, you can really heat up your speed a lot. Okay. Oh, it only looked like a beetroot. It had the same red of a salmon, so there we go. And it doesn't take too long, for your villagers to get set up. Can you cycle them when they're at this level? I don't. Yeah, I don't think so. I think once they're past the base level, they don't lose their job anymore. Yeah, so he maintained all of his experience, which isn't perfect, so... Well, I mean, obviously I would have to get rid of him if we wanted him to have different trades. But there's plenty of villagers, and we can always just make up different farmers, as we will, there'll be more wheat to sell in the world. And I'm still not seeing a single cat, which is pretty sad. But we'll be able to be on the lookout for more here in the future. We'll just plant some beets around this area, and of course, it's much more intelligent to make a proper field. But equally obvious is that I'm not going to do that quite yet because I need to make all the things happen. One of those things was to go get spruce trees, which really is like a very important element because that's going to be a way to accelerate all of my wood acquisition. Cutting down like oak trees and birch trees is just wildly inefficient compared to a good spruce tree setup once you get it really going. But we will be able to get some fruits of our labors real quick, and it does appear that at least at this point, it's a smart move to leave two spaces around because right here, pumpkins like to jump out to the side, the gourds do, and this is going to make it so that it doesn't inhibit. Like if there was just one space between, then one could only go to one side and so on. But this is going to just let it be a little better for us. But freshly armed with our tools and some of our junk, and I'm carrying too much junk again. If I'm supposed to go and get samples, I won't need too much space. Yes, but I will want sand in order to climb a tree potentially. No, I won't need to farm like a big spruce tree. I think probably now that I have wasted this much time, though, we'll just do a little bit more preliminary farming and get close to calling it. Not the whole video, but just the night. We will do the boring work of cutting down some grass to level the land. And of course, if I had my amazing diamond tools that I have in my survival world, this would be very swift. But instead of the painstaking and meditative process that we have here. But of course, in the long run, what really matters is that you've got your setup good, and that's why every bit of land that you clear is great, because once you've got your flat land and once you're irrigated, it's just so much easier to continue on with a wheat farm than it is if you build it in a sort of comical way, which I've done sometimes in the past, where you just sort of throw wheat haphazardly everywhere. And of course, the long ago scars of a creeper attack, that's another reason why we'll want to go and get plenty of spruce trees. With tons of wood comes tons of charcoal, and every time I try to go just a little bit quicker, I place a block slightly wrong. But as I was saying, with tons of trees comes tons of charcoal, and then we'll be able to get the vast coverage of light that we need to make the village a safer place. So that's just this village. There's of course a couple other villages that have their own serious problems, like we saw not too long ago, that'll need our help. But we want to make it far enough away from trailing off again, far enough away from the pumpkins where the irrigation doesn't reach over, and that'll be certainly far enough. I think it's 4 spaces that irrigation reaches out, but it's not like 6, and we can go a little closer if we like at a later date. But the fun thing about farming is that as you're doing it, you don't even, or I often don't even notice the passage of time, because it's just such a pleasant little thing. You're going around and you're clicking, talking to yourself if you're me, and then before you know it, well, night falls, and that's kind of a little bit scary, but it's not so bad because you're a brave sort, and and before you know it, like you've got a really big field again, and it's it is amusing to me that I no matter what in games, once I like sort of figure out what the thing that I like to do is, I just sort of keep on doing that. There's a big meme like with Skyrim that everything becomes a stealth archer, but I even have like a fairly specific way that I'll play like the early several hours of Skyrim, uh, and I would have to essentially force myself away from playing the way that I would generally choose to. But I am a creature of habit among the other creature-like qualities. But unfortunate that we're not going to be able to find any cats today, but maybe tomorrow. And the important thing is that I don't think we're going to have to worry about creepers blowing holes in our stuff this morning. If you go to bed right at the beginning of the night, then they don't have the time to spawn. And yeah, that's exactly what we have going on here. So pretty good. I shouldn't have wasted all of that wheat on earlier trades, but before I know it, I'll have enough to get some guys up, because you only need just a couple villagers to buy pumpkins, and then you can, even with a pretty big pumpkin patch, you can offload all of them in quick enough fashion, but probably enough time to yeah, feed some again. And you can like jam some down the baby's throats, but it takes like a whole lot of them to make them grow older immediately, so I often don't do that. They have these little compost things set up, but they originally made me think that I needed like a long irrigation thing for all of my crops, but it's not so. There's actually a lot of freedom from the presence of the water that you're afforded. But speaking of freedom, we're about to strike out onto the map and do that thing that I was talking about doing some time ago. That's right. I'm actually going to keep my promise, unless I don't. And I was going to say where are the pork chops, but they are yet in my pocket. And we've got our various tools, and we're going to grab the shield and pork chop in hand, and of course boatless, because that's who I am. I forgot that the whole point was that I didn't have a boat. I'll go up to the top here and make another boat. It'll be like nothing ever happened. Of course, everything is like nothing ever happened, because memory is, a choice, just like most other things are. It's actually slightly easier to do this because you have so much more visibility to where your feet are at going up the side of the mountain. So we've got a chasm here. Do we want to go in an adventure? No, because that is the opposite of what our goals are. You see, you just got to remind yourself constantly what you said you were going to do, and then sometimes you can do it. Sometimes. But we're just going to chomp down a little bit and grab our trusty sword and turn that trusty pig into a trusty pork chop. And eventually, of course, in the great circle of life, it'll become a cooked pork chop. And then it will save me from doom and destruction, as pork chops are wont to do. If you just carry around a pork chop in your pocket, it'll protect you from harm, most harm. Not all harm. Obviously, like a pork chop wouldn't protect you from being on fire. If there was lava, you would need a little bit more than that. But, pork chops haven't promised you the world. They have only promised you a small portion of it. And I like to think that they live up to that. So we're just going to run down in this direction, musing again about the deficiencies and benefits of various foods while we acquire some cow foods. And since we're not French, there's no need to call it beef. I think the appropriate thing to do now is to just go ahead and build a boat, which we can do fairly quickly here using the principles of boat building. And of course, like, this was probably obvious to you, but we were always going to leave that crafting table behind. I could sit here and tell you that it's all part of the plan, that I wanted that crafting table to be left there. I will tell you that I did know I was doing it when I started doing it. And I wouldn't, like, classify myself as a person in that moment who cared, but might be pushing it a little bit to put intentionality onto any of my actions. What we're doing is looking for spruce, but first another portal. So we're going to be able to get some gold and raid a chest, and that's better than spruce. You know, with gold you could buy anything. You could even buy a spruce sapling. I don't think that's true. I don't think you can buy anything with gold in this game, but oh yes, yeah, it's not too terribly hard to move around like this, but it's not super easy either. A gold chestplate of mending, that actually is kind of cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the chestplate. Yeah, it's just that I have a sort of tenuous grasp on where the cursor should be at that makes it tricky. But we're just going to keep on going in this way because I know that the dark forest has a spruce forest around it somewhere-ish, and I'll likely see it if I just go down this river much further. Because there were a couple of them, and I kept saying, oh, I'll just go to that in a bit. And I even believed it when I said that. But I think at this point we will be... Yeah, we're just quickly approaching spawn, which is just fine. I have stuff to do over here. There's a... Huh. What is that? Got rooted dirt. Azalea leaves, okay. Get azaleas out of it, that's pretty fun. I've only ever seen azaleas in the in lush caves, so that's interesting. Is this just oak wood? Huh. Alright. Well, some azaleas and flowering azaleas. Maybe I can grow more azaleas out of the flowering ones. Interesting stuff. It was really out of place. Most of the trees don't have, you know, little purple flowers on them. I thought I might have discovered a new tree, but it looked like an oak tree with improbable stuff on it. Here in the small rapids, a couple of animals stuck, but that's okay. They are not my responsibility. As I run down this river, I just reflect that there had to have been a closer spruce forest than the one that I'm trying to make my way to. Because I don't even really remember where it is. I just need to go up high. I've probably passed a couple by being down here in the depths as I was, but Do I have any torches on me? I don't. That's bad. Is there any coal around? Nope. Well, fortunately, I'm right at home. Or rather, the old home. So, I don't think I left any even furnaces up here, because I was like, I'm never going to come back. But we'll grab one torch at least. Because the point of the torch was to do this thing here, where I'm going to mine the pillar of sand and then make it again so that I can scout to see what's going on. Oh, I was like, maybe I shouldn't get underneath that. I don't actually know if you take damage from it falling on your head. But we'll just go ahead and build this again, because I don't remember what the surrounding area looks like. No spruce yet. Okay, it doesn't want to let me place them. Because I had almost fallen off. You know, if I fell all the way down there, that I would have felt very, very foolish. Worse than foolish, I would have felt, you know, like I had ruined everything for nothing. Okay. In that direction. So we will go towards that mountain and strike out towards those spruce trees, because those are the closest ones that I see to here. We will just careen off this way safely, and it'll be easy to carry on. We're just gonna toss a bed down and go to sleep right by the river. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, I guess like an evil monster could wake up over your bed, but that didn't happen this time, and I honestly don't know if it can. But you know, it would be a bad way to learn. You know, you have like a 1% chance of waking up with an Enderman like throttling you, and then it happens to you. But you know, there's got to have been a closer spruce forest to where I was at, but that's fine. You know, the joy of exploration is not restricted to the joy of being a place you've not gone before. You can re-explore, and clearly I have, you know, plenty of life left in these zones before I realize where I'm at within them. So, to sum up, we have no inventory space, tons of food, and a mission. So I consider what we're doing to be like pretty successful, actually. Because, you know, what we're doing is what we would be doing at home, only we don't have to worry about these pigs. These pigs were never going to be of value unless we popped them, so it's pretty nice. And that's the equivalent of growing a lot of pumpkins. You know, if you just find pumpkins, it's just as good as doing the work. It's like I imagine people doing that when they walk down the street, they just see like a fruit tree and they're like, ah, well, it's my apple now, for I have seen it. That would be terrible behavior. When I was a kid, we had fruit trees, but we didn't like live in town. It would have been a whole other problem if someone was like walking in our backyard trying to take a plum. And we've got a nice little mountain meadow here. Beautiful. These really are just the nicest little places. So many flowers, such beauty. And okay, the spruce on the other side of this, I could have just taken the river, but I did not know that at the time. And this would be, okay, yeah, so this is the spruce forest on the other side of the village there with the spawner in it. So I went, what, a couple, just like 1,000 blocks from where I was at. Not too bad. I could even pretend that this was the forest that I had in mind. You know, whenever I started this journey, would that be fun if I lied? If I said this was the forest that I had in mind? I bet it would be. I'm not going to do that though. I don't want to have too much fun. Not this early in the day. There will be many other opportunities to dissemble and deceive, to prevaricate, uh, and to prevail upon your credulous natures by misrepresenting the nature of my plans. But I'm not going to do that today. And if you're wondering if I was done thesaurusing, yeah, I'm done with that too. Woo, boy, oh boy, what do we have here? Lush cave. Lush cave underneath, because that's a characteristic lush cave thing to me. This must have, is this the one that I found earlier? It's been so long. Anyway, lush cave under there, which actually does bear exploring, and I might want to do, but I haven't gone to a lush cave with monsters on. I haven't actually been to any underground place like a big like lava place with the stalactites or whatever. Uh, or a lush cave. Those are the only two underground places I've ever found. I don't know if there are any more. Oh, and a trial ruin that was underground, but I don't know if that counts. And a little mine shaft places, but I don't know if those count. Okay, so I've been to 4 different places underground, but I don't know if they count. And but I don't know, what sort of dangers lurk in there. And while it would be very engaging for me to learn live, if there's like a big like reptile monster down in the lush caves, it would be real real deflating for me to learn on this. Basically anything I see something new, it begins to make me a little nervous when I'm playing in hardcore. Since I'm All right, so do I have All right, time to get my act together. We've thrown the pork chops down, which is stupid. I need to make not a shovel. I need to make a wooden hoe, but I don't have enough planks in the inventory. Yeah, we're totally clogged up here. And normally a wooden hoe would just be like a total waste, but I don't need a ton of these things. I just need a few sapling samples, and that'll be enough. But of course, I will also need to be able to pick up the sapling sample. Which I have done. We're going to try to get a couple other ones, just because, there's no point in leaving with merely one when I can get a couple more. But whenever the hoe cracks, we're just going to say, all right, that was a good run, and declare, a victory on this spruce gathering expedition. Obviously, we will take the logs, leave the single plank, and we're just going to take a little bit of fall damage due to, carelessness, and get going back home, because I don't want to lose sight of the fact that I did come into this with like defined objectives, which was just to get Spruce and to return. And I've done half of that, so we're just going to find the river. That's not the river. Oh boy, that's not the river at all. Looks like there is a zombie down there, but it's just a normal zombie. He's not going to want to come out, obviously. So big old cavern there, and that'll be whenever I want to come and adventure for diamonds. That'll be where I go. That's just not on my list of things right now, but I'll be able to get some more redstone and diamond stuff down there potentially. I seem to always find a few diamonds whenever I'm in those caves, and I do very much need a diamond for or a couple of diamonds. I think it's a couple of diamonds for an enchanting table. So that's a pretty essential part of the plan. We're just going to boat down the side. Oh yeah, excellent. It doesn't even fall all the way into the water. Elegant and graceful, such is the nature of my character in Minecraft. But now we're just making our way back on home, and we'll cut a left here, and then we'll just go about 1,000 blocks up the coast, and we'll be right back where we want to be. And I bet I could even do it without getting lost again. But I shouldn't have said it out loud, because that will, draw the contempt of the ruinous powers, and they'll change the map right in front of me, leaving me embarrassed and, without a compass. Not that the compass would do anything for me, given that, it points in the direction of home, which is not where I want to go. I want to go to new home. But I think we're just straight going in that direction anyway right now, or mostly. Yes. We'll be able to break into the open ocean on this side here, and then we'll cut a left up the coast, because I'm pretty sure that's how it all connects. Because that pillar is probably island pillar, and then there will be one further in that direction, but we'll see. We're just going to, of course, keep on remembering that the ocean is a dangerous place full of risks that we don't fully comprehend. Try not to tempt any of them. And that's like a big building, but we don't have time to look at that today. We only have time to go home. Some of these little underwater tower ruins are so large that I can't believe I didn't notice them on my other playthroughs, but it's all in what you're looking for. If they don't have an exposed light source, it's not going to immediately read to my eye as an inhabited place sometimes. It's just going to be like, oh, okay, and then things were how they were. So, do I have a cherry sapling? I should have picked exactly one up, but I don't know what I've done with it. We're not going to worry too much about it, though. We're just going to keep on traveling towards home. I think, yeah, it's coming on nighttime once again, so we'll probably think about bedding down here. Oh yeah, sun is falling. But, I don't think anything on water is that quick, but, well, we'll just take stock of what our resources are looking like. Armor will break before too long. We're about to get stuck here, but not that stuck, because we'll just be able to pop the boat and run to the other side of the island, where there will probably be monsters, but we will certainly be able to ignore them. Yeah, and we'll just keep on going. There's no point in laying down for the night when I don't have to. If it seems super sketchy, I'm already in a boat and not too worried about it for that reason. So we had, and like clearly we've been here before. But we could lay down here for the night, which would make sense. We've got a chest here, which means this is the double chest that I never came back and looted. This is the double chest that I never came back and looted. So that actually does make this a good place to be. That's right. Oh, and there's more spruce trees there. So I could have come to get this chest and would have seen them. But, all roads lead to Rome, or if not Rome, then wherever this is. There's a wandering trader over here, just wandering around. Well, he's invisible, but we can still talk to him? We can still talk to him. It looks like he's a little confused about how everything's going down, so we're not going to, bother him too much. But I think we're just going to throw this torch down over here. Pop a zombie. And this one is a zombie butcher, but he's not like a good one. He was just an apprentice, a novice even. I don't know what their ranks are called. I think those are a couple of them, though. But, we're not going to be just like wasting our time with the night just because it happens to be nighttime. We're going to be, doing productive things like filling up our boat with junk. Absolutely not the bed, though. We're not monsters, but I mean, stupid, yes, but monsters, no. The bow I won't need. And yeah, we're just gonna, in the face of the night, we're just gonna keep on doing the. Oh, there's the cherry stuff. Just as I was saying that they had to be somewhere, they indeed did have to be somewhere. We'll have that bottle of bad omen. I don't think anyone will get too upset with me for carrying it, but if I become a bad omen, I will be very embarrassed. Not sure what it means. I've only seen them in trial ruins, but I got that one off of a pillager. So perhaps if I like drink one and go to their towers, I can fight him. I just fought the pillager like on this beach. He just like ran up to me. This would have been ages ago, so I don't really know what was going on with that. But he had problems. He had issues. We don't have any of those. We've only got the future in front of us, and just gonna keep on running. Because again, I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm so afraid of the dark. I just want to pretend to not be. I figure if we're by the waterfront, then even if there is some big bad beastie that comes up out of the water, we'll be able to just like evade it soon and not have to worry too much. Yeah, but we go here, right, and then we sort of hang a left, and then we should be coming up upon all of our villages before. Wowza, there were like 15 baddies on that beach, but they were dealing with their own issues. And if you just move quick, you can avoid other people's problems. Like that creeper was surrounded by spiders. That's probably pretty scary. One group of hissing mobs hissing at another group. This skeleton is never going to hit that shot, right? Yeah, he's never going to hit that shot. This one could potentially. He's got like a good position. We're just going to put those blocks between us and him, though. He's not going to be able to get it. Our evasive maneuvers much too strong for him. And yeah, we're going to be able to return home. Need more torches everywhere, but of course we're going to be able to get started on that before too long at all. Because this one spruce tree is going to grow up to be so big and tall, we will turn it into other spruce trees, and then before you know it, we will have every spruce tree that we ever wanted. Or at least some of them. I could want a lot of trees, y'all don't even know. Someday maybe I will have all the trees that I desire. That day is unlikely to happen, though. Don't you dare! Alright, I need to, I certainly need much bigger light coverage, because that's a creeper in the middle of my village where he could have made me very annoyed. There's a lot of skellies over there. They got enchanted bows and stuff. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to throw some junk in the auto smelter and lay down. Man, I love the auto smelter. Do I have any logs? Nope, they're not on me. We'll just smelt some sand anyway. Plenty of coal to keep the fires of industry rolling. And now we'll run in and, as is tradition, give Garuda his little wheat seed. Say, hey, buddy. It's been so good to be adventuring, and it's so good to be back home. And that'll be that when we return in the next video. More of the same. I'll plant more crops. I'll plant more trees. I'll harvest more stuff. I may not go adventuring again, but I might. I might just feel the spark of inspiration and go wherever my heart takes me. But my heart might just take me to the field here. So, what I would say is, if you can identify where your heart is leading you, and you don't think it's going to lead you to trouble, follow it for a little bit. It might end up with a field. It might have something even better. So, just something to think about in the rare event that you have made it this far. I hope I'll see you in the next video, and I hope that this hardcore journey is enjoyable for you, as it is for me.